Hello friends, it's your good buddy Stub. Welcome to day 7 of the Cork Giving 20 wine days of February 2020. Wow, I have a lot of awesome tips for you today. I'm calling this grocery store wine or wine buying tips for novices. You decide, Rocky and Bullwinkle style. And happy frickin' Friday while we're at it, friends. Let's jump right in. So you're buying wine at the grocery store, you don't know how the store is set up, you don't know a lot about wine. Here's some awesome tips to get you through that. The first one I'm gonna give you is try to please everyone. Yeah, I know you read the self-help blogs and they're like, hey, you can't please everyone, be yourself. Well, in the case of wine, you can, or at least you can try, because most people aren't super educated on wine. A lot of people aren't dumb on wine either. Most people fall somewhere in the middle and maybe even lower middle, to be honest. So what you want is you want to get something big and fruity and juicy that everyone is going to love, that is also not overly sweet. And a good way to do that is to look at the alcohol content. Now, generally, especially with red wines or even on white wines, a higher alcohol content is usually going to translate to a more perceived fruitiness on the palate. Now, some people perceive that as sweet. It's actually not sweet. It's just more of a fruit bursting character in that wine, and that's really cool. So I'm gonna also encourage you to look at brands that maybe you've seen before, even if you haven't had them. And I'm talking large brands that have been around for a while. I'm talking J. Lohr, Beringer, Rodney Strong, Jordan Vineyards, Chateau Ste. Michelle. Now, all of these wineries make at the lower price point, more mass-produced wines, and they sell a lot of them. And you know why? Because it pleases the American palate, the average American palate. But all these wineries have also been in business for a very long time, so they know how to make wine and they know how to make great wine. So even at a lower price point, you're gonna be getting more of a quality wine, especially from some of these larger, more established producers. At least that's my opinion. Now, as far as price, I'm gonna tell you to go to a middle price point. So if you find, two Merlots from the same producer, and one's a little higher, one's a little lower, okay, maybe go with the lower one. But in general, pick a middle price point. You don't want to get that $4 stuff on the bottom of the shelf, but you certainly don't want to get, depending on your grocery store, the $50 or $60 or more bottle on the top shelf. There's just no reason for that necessarily in a grocery store. You're gonna probably pay a little bit more than you should for those higher end wines, and those lower end wines, okay, generally and admittedly, you're gonna get a lower quality of wine. Now, on that same thing with price, I'm gonna tell you to shop the sales at a grocery store. Even if you're not buying wine at a grocery store, go down the wine aisle such that it is in your market and see what they have on sale. Whether that be individually on the tags or they've got a big basket of wine at the end of the aisle, go through that thing, because I will tell you more than once, I've been in a grocery store, saw a big basket of wine at the end of the wine aisle, not even thinking I was gonna go down the wine aisle, rifled through it a little bit, ended up getting a wine that retailed for $80 for like 22 bucks. Now, there's nothing wrong with this wine, because generally wine doesn't go bad unless there's a problem with the cork or it's got some other taint in the wine itself faulted, but these aren't why these wines are on sale. The grocery store is moving shelf space to bring other stuff in, and probably at the higher end in most grocery stores, they're not selling that higher end wine. So every now and again, you're gonna be able to get some great deals at the grocery store. Now, another thing that happens a lot in grocery stores, wine tastings. If there's a wine tasting going on in your grocery store and you're so inclined, definitely taste, especially if it's a wine or type of wine you haven't had before. Not only are you going to taste something different and expand your palate and get a little better idea of what is what in the wine world if you know a little less, but you also might get jolted into getting something that you otherwise wouldn't have thought about that day that is perfect for your occasion. Whether it be your Tuesday night lasagna, your tacos, your frozen pizzas, whatever it is, or if you're just grabbing a host gift because you forgot something on the way to a dinner party. Hey, we've all been there. Am I kidding? All right, and the last thing I'm going to tell you, friends, is always ask for help. Now, in a lot of grocery stores, you're not going to have necessarily a super knowledgeable person in the section there, and especially maybe not at the time you're shopping. However, sometimes you're going to get lucky, and at the very least, they should be able to at least direct you to areas for things that you're looking for, whether it be a specific variety, a specific region, or whatever. All right, friends, speaking of grocery store wines, today we have the 2015 Ménage à Trois red wine blend from California. Now, this wine has been around for a while, and in my estimation, and my wine friends will probably have some ideas and prove me wrong on this, but this to me is one of those wines that started the whole several years ago, oh, I love red blends kind of thing, because it's got Zinfandel, Cabernet, and Merlot, and it's got a cheeky little name. All right, that's kind of funny. And I know my wine friends are also going to say, hey, the French have been doing that for a long time in the Rhone. It's called Grenache Syrah Mourvèdre, and we all know the French are a little less uptight about a Ménage. However, this wine is big and juicy on the nose. I'm getting some strawberry, like ripe strawberry, some cherry flavors. Let's give it a taste. And that's exactly what I get. This is bursting with fruit. This is not a sweet wine, but the fruit flavor in this wine is big and bold and ripe. It's only 13%, 13.5% alcohol. So it's not the highest alcohol that's gonna give you that boost of flavor, but wow, there's plenty boost of flavor in this wine. This is gonna please everyone. And quite honestly, it's versatile enough to go with your midweek tacos, frozen pizzas, lasagna, whatever it is you're having. And it's going to please the most amount of palates if you're taking it for a party or serving it to friends for something on the lower end, or just trying something new. All right, friends, thanks for joining me. Hope this didn't go too long today. Hope you're having a great Friday. I hope you have an amazing weekend. I really appreciate you following this and sharing it out. I'm paying attention to that, and I really do appreciate you. So I hope you have a great weekend. And until tomorrow, be nice, be safe, and be happy. Cheers, friends.